useless sadness. I know you're all
As a man, I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol, I can be incorruptible.
He gave us a signal.
Where are you?
Something elemental, something terrifying.
Hey, we're back. We've returned with another episode of Cavecast. It is Saturday morning, and with me, as always, is Drunken Emerald Arrow. How you doing?
I'm awake. I've had my coffee. In fact, I'm going to have a little bit more.
Yeah, don't blame you. Don't blame you. Oh, Blair, good to see you. Yeah, no, light panel this morning, but definitely, because there is a Cavecast chat. Very divisive. Very divisive character. I know Vaughn had a lot to say about him.
Yeah, and then he doesn't show up to express them. He's just gonna bitch behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, he's more than welcome to come on.
Yeah.
But I personally don't hate this character. He's it felt like we were always going towards that direction. Like it was going to happen. You can only be a billionaire playboy for so long before, some progeny comes down the pike. So Damian Wayne was naturally going to happen. Let's say hello. Let's say hello to the chat. Friend of the channel, Jacob Ironside. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Good to have you on here. Sergeant, always good to see you. We said hello to Blair. Yeah, everything's good. But right now we're talking about Damian Wayne, the son of Bruce Wayne and the fourth Robin. Technically, fifth or sixth, depending on what continuity, but like in mainstream continuity, that the one to rock the mantle for quite some time, it's been Damian Wayne. I have people like, what about Carrie Kelly? And it was like, okay, that's which we will discuss.
But you really can see specifically, I mean, to not skew too far away from Damian Wayne and Batman in general, you can see that the CW took a lot of Batman lore and a lot of Batman kind of rogue gallery and put them into the Arrow show.
Oh, 100%.
And you can definitely tell it's because of what they actually wanted to do. They wanted to do a Batman show and couldn't get it. And so that's why they kind of went with Green Arrow.
Which is kind of absurd. Even when they did Gotham, right? When Fox did Gotham, they were like, well, you can use these characters, but like
you can't have
Bruce
Batman.
Wayne can't be Batman and the Joker can't be the Joker, but all these other characters they can be, whatever, so like it's just another reason it didn't work. But yeah, my good buddy Joker voice, he says, hello, just waiting to get picked up for Saturday night at Arkham. We all know why. It's because we all know that it's taco night at Arkham Asylum. And why it's taco night on Saturday and not Tuesday, because it's a madhouse. And it's some serious ground on some serious earth. But we'll just jump right into Damian here. Damian Thomas Wayne is a superhero appearing, so let's see, when did he first drop? First appearance was Son of the Demon in 87. So, which I actually own that comic. I remember that's where Talia basically drugs Bruce into she basically date rapes Bruce Wayne. No better term for it.
Yeah.
Not great, but yeah. So the prototype of the character originally appeared as an unnamed infant in the 1987 story, Son of the Demon. Great cover for that. I always like a nice painted cover. Which at the time was not considered canon. Following this, various alternate universe stories dealt with the character's life, giving him various names. But in 2006, the character was reinterpreted as Damian Wayne by Grant Morrison and introduced to the main continuity in Batman 655, the first issue of Batman and Son story arc. Damian Wayne is the fifth character to assume the character of Robin. They say he's the fifth. I always say he's the fourth. I know Stephanie Brown took up the mantle as well, but Damian is much more of a mainstay. That's kind of like that's a lot of comic book people. They love their semantics. This is definitely a case for that. Damian Wayne's the fourth Robin. Everybody else is either alternate universe or like it's kind of like a one shot.
Yeah,
and that's not to say that Stephanie Brown isn't a cool character, because she is. But she's spoiler. That's okay. There's also stories where what's the character's name? Who's Huntress? Helena, whatever Italian last name she has. But there's alternate universe stories where like she's like Batgirl or Catwoman, or you know what I mean. There's else worlds for just about everything. So that being said, yeah, he seems to be like the youngest. Yeah, so he's a pre-adolescent left by his mother in care of his father. We will get into Talia al Ghul, and who wouldn't want to? But you do kind of need to understand who the character of Ra's al Ghul is, who will also be getting his own episode. But thank you, Helena Bertolini. But yeah, there's do many believe that Damian should get the Jason Todd treatment? I mean, what happens when we talk about Jason Todd?
Dead puppies, dead puppies, dead puppies aren't much fun.
Poor Jason. Yeah, so you can say what you want, but there's something called the League of Assassins that's run by Ra's al Ghul, who is like semi immortal because of these things called the Lazarus Pits, which gave him like incredible longevity. There's also a backside to the Lazarus Pits. I agree. The Huntress has one of the sexiest outfits in comics. Gotta love a good boob window,
indeed.
But before we get into it any further, anyway, and then Talia al Ghul is like an on again, off again love interest for Bruce, but their ideology is just too different, because she very much believes in her father's cause. And, her father's kind of a bit of a, even though he's smart, even though he has ways that he thinks will fix the world, he's a bit of a, sociopath, and he's not afraid to kill people to justify his means. So obviously Bruce isn't going to go with that, even though there's plenty of stories and plenty of cases, especially in like his initial iteration that Ra's al Ghul actually wanted Bruce to succeed him. But that's not going to happen. So they devised a plan to get the next best thing, and that's to acquire his seed and forward his prodigy and kind of raise him like that. But like out of the gate, what were your initial thoughts on Damian Wayne when he first dropped?
I honestly didn't have a problem with it. It was just a matter of time when you would actually have an offspring of Bruce Wayne. They would have to do it eventually, I think, and that's what they ended up doing there. They
waited 80 years to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I know. The inception of him, I would say, was probably not overall the greatest on how he came to be, but with League of Assassins, it is what it is, and especially with Natalia.
Yeah. Well, and it also it kind of destroys Talia's character.
It does. Here's and the thing is I like this image.
Oh, let me see here.
With the cloak.
Yeah, the cloak. I will say, out of all the Robins, Damian has the best costumes.
Yep.
The boy's got style. Yeah, but the cloak is it's a good look. And it also what'd you say?
I was going to say my problem with most of the Robins anyway is usually been the uniforms, because I don't, in the world upon which they're operating, I think it's just too loud. With the cloak and the darker colors, even still having the red on top, it's still more muted and fits more with the environment, I think.
Yeah, we've often talked about that, especially once we've gotten into the Robin saga of Cavecast. Is these bright colors and everything, it just goes against the whole urban ninja mentality. And there's a lot of people who try to like write that in and was like, oh well, Dick Grayson was such a good acrobat, he was a moving target. And that allowed Batman to operate better. It was like, you can say whatever you want. But, a great example is what happened to Jason Todd. Obviously, he doesn't want the kids to get killed. So I could totally see him going, and I could totally see a kid picking an outfit like that. But that's when Batman needs to step in and go like, you might want to go with like a little bit more black, because we kind of operate in the shadows. Maybe wearing a giant billboard isn't the best way to maintain stealth.
It's a giant billboard. I'm here.
Yeah,
he cares about the kids, but yet he's using them as a bullet shield. Hey, pay attention to the bright colors.
Yeah, it's like what they said. Who was it? It's like what Frank Miller said about the Batman emblem. He was like, well, that's supposed to actually draw fire, and it was like, I don't think I don't think it really works out that way. It was like, oh, where should I have them concentrate fire? Oh, on my chest, where people are trained to shoot people. Like it doesn't. I understand it's probably the most padded. It should be the most padded, because if you get shot there, you die. It's where a lot of your vital organs is. It's where your heart is. It's where your lung is. It's where a lot of arteries are. It's not a great place to get shot. I know people will tank a couple of bullets in every action movie you've ever seen. It really doesn't work that way. Yeah, I especially enjoyed Batman and Son. I really enjoyed when Dick Grayson took over, and as as his short stint as Batman, and he kind of had this almost like a buddy cop run with Damian Wayne, because there's like a regalness about Damian Wayne, you know what I mean? Because he was raised in an entirely different type of privilege than Bruce was. You know, Bruce came from a prominent rich family, but they were well to do in Gotham, and they tried to help Gotham, and like Damian's just like almost like a Draco Malfoy, where you know he's like, I'm an aristocrat, everybody is below me. Like he refers to Alfred as Pennyworth. You know what I mean? He's kind of like this no bullshit miniature Ra's al Ghul. Like there's this air of prominence about him, and
because he knows his heritage. Because again, it's the heritage. It comes from his heritage. While he is offspring of Batman, he was raised by the League of Shadows and Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah,
so he's gonna have that, and being part of that bloodline, part of that family, he's gonna have that arrogance.
Yeah, no, he is, you know, and that's an arrogance you might even see if he was just raised the way that Bruce was. You know what I mean? It was just Bruce, the Waynes just happened to be exceptional people, you know, exceptional people, where they were able to kind of not instill those qualities in Bruce, but you know, it could have easily gone the other way. Oswald Cobblepot is a wonderful example of that. Where it was like he had all the privileges that Bruce had. It's just, you know, he's just a rich asshole. But yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. You know, just and seeing a kid like that who's truly dangerous out of all of the Robins, he is an actual threat. Like, you know, he was trained to kill people since he could walk, you know, like in trying to train that out of him and like instill a sense of values in him. It was an interesting read. It was an interesting idea. It flipped the entire idea of Robin on his head. It's probably how they should have treated Jason, but you know, because he learned those lessons with Jason and Tim and Dick, he's much better prepared to love this very, very brilliant but difficult child who is just so arrogant and just so privileged. And it was a great way to spin it on its head. There's very few people who could have pulled that off, and Grant Morrison's definitely one of them. So, you know, love to see it. Now, you know, there are people who can say, oh, I don't like him, he's whiny. I don't find him to be whiny. I find him to be just kind of expecting more out of everybody. You know, when you're kind of raised to be the prince of a you know, like the world's largest shadow organization, you're gonna have some expectations. You know, like when your father is yeah, I think the first thing he says to Bruce is, "Hello, father. I thought you'd be taller." You know, like, like, that's it's interesting. Which I'm pretty sure canonically, Batman's like 6'2", unless we're not counting Absolute Batman, which we are not. Batman is not like a bicep with a head on it. Batman's a decent sized guy who can throw his weight around. Yes, Joker's got it. He's a snob. Oh, we forgot the Bat banner. Guys, don't forget to hit the Bat like button, Bat subscribe, Bat share the show. We are on Kick now. I'll upload this to Rumble. It's hard to do all three because I do like streaming on the Twitter. It helps forward some traffic to the show, but yeah, just give the show a like. I know we've been on a hiatus, but we're back, you know. Arrogant little bastard. Well, he's not a bastard. But yes, he is quite arrogant. He's definitely a powerhouse couple. Okay, let's see. In the Elseworlds Brotherhood of the Bat, his a version named Talent Wayne, who crusades against his grandfather Ra's al Ghul. The Brotherhood of the Bat features. Why are we starting with all? I guess we're just doing publication history. And then there's Ibn al Zufish or Zoxfach, That's Arabic. It literally means son of the bat. So that was in Kingdom Come. I do not remember Batman's son being in Kingdom Come.
That's funny, son of the bad, son of a bitch. I mean, it's so close.
It really is. Lunar, thanks for stopping in. Warren, always good to see you. Got to get you on the news, brother.
They went for the week. They went for with that one instead of going after Talia.
Yeah,
in the name.
Really. So he's a member of Lex Luthor's inner circle. It must have been only like briefly, where he's sitting at a table, because I clearly don't remember that.
It was probably only referred to in the Arabic name. So, so most people wouldn't even have caught on to it.
No, unless you speak fluent Arabic, and then you're like, oh, that's clearly Bruce Wayne's son. The Kingdom, Son of the Bat. I don't care about this. I'm looking more. There we go. Fictional biography, Batman and Son. Damian's origin was unknown to Batman. Damian was genetically perfected and grown in an artificial womb to be the perfect warrior. He was raised by his mother, Talia al Ghul, in the League of Assassins. He becomes a talented martial artist before his teenage years, at which time Talia reveals Damian's existence to Bruce Wayne and leaves him in Bruce's custody in an effort to disrupt his work. So even from his fruition, it's like some backhanded game that Talia is trying to play with Bruce, her beloved, which kind of seems par for the course. We can kind of discuss moving a little bit more forward why I think this eventually becomes like a character assassination for Talia. But yes, he's precocious, spoiled, and violent. Damian battles Tim Drake, who he wants to replace as Robin, and sucker punches Tim off of the stuffed Tyrannosaurus in the Batcave. When Tim stopped fighting to help him, Damian then escapes, dons a variant Robin costume made of Jason Todd's old tunic and mask, and assorted League of Assassins gear. And that's that right there, that's a look. That's a good look. I like that look, that Robin drip. So and eventually Batman confronts Talia to confirm Damian's true identity, but both Talia and Damian are soon caught in an explosion, which they survive. However, Damian's badly injured and requires a transplant of harvested organs, which his mother orders her physicians to carry out, and Damian makes a full recovery. Comic book stuff. So, so the relationship between Bruce and Damian is very interesting. Let's see here. Oh, fun with collecting. Thanks for dropping in. Always liked him. Really loved him in the movie Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think that's one of the most unrated comic book crossovers that I've read in a long time. And yes, the movie is also good. You guys should definitely check that out. We'll be discussing that eventually.
Crossover special.
Yeah. Crossover specials are usually, people always ask me about comic book like crossovers, and it was like, so what's going to happen? I was like, I'll tell you what's going to happen. The two heroes are going to face off. They're going to realize they're on the same team, and then eventually fight like the two big bads that teamed up. Like obviously that's just how it goes. What is this? Hey, Rick. Morning, sir. I'm glad you could start your morning off with us. We're just talking Damian Wayne. And you know what? I'm glad to see that he's not getting so much hate in the chat, because like he feels like a good character moving forward. And it really all just depends on who's writing him. Because yes, if you have someone who's not equipped to write him properly, he can be an insufferable character. But if you have someone who gives him that bit of nuance that he needs, he's an intriguing character, because he's essentially just a child soldier prince, like
essentially that is all he really is. And coming in, I mean,
that's what's fun with collecting.
Raised essentially by the League of Assassins, knowing that his grandfather is Ra's al Ghul, finding out his father's Batman.
Yeah, he's like Justin Bieber.
You bring it up.
16-year-old kid, couple $1 million, he's gonna be arrogant.
It's the third generation that though ruins any kind of like business.
It's true. It happens.
And he would be the third generation.
Well, and that's something that was really interesting about like when Bruce is first dealing with Damian, and he wouldn't say things like, hey, like, you're disappointing me as your son. He'd say things like, you dishonored your sensei. And you know what I mean? Like the things that are like very much to the point, because he doesn't even view him as his dad yet. He has no relationship with his son yet. It was like, that's something that had to grow over time. And I'll say this too. Something that I really enjoyed moving forward, the Super Sons was a banger. Okay. Just having Jonathan Kent before they ruined him, and Damian Wayne getting into like little misadventures, that was fun. That was a fun little comic. And that also got an animated depiction, and like it was good. But so now we're gonna get into we can skip RIP. Obviously Batman gets time displaced, and then there's the battle for the cowl, which that was mostly concerning all the other Robins.
Yeah.
And then here's where we get into some fun stuff. This is Batman Reborn. Despite becoming Robin to Grayson's Batman, Damian reveals that he cares little for his older brother and has no respect for him as Batman, and that the latter would have to earn it. In an act of defiance, Damian decides to make the Robin mantle independent from that of Batman, and decides to stop Dr. Phosphorus from breaking up. Wow, Dr. Phosphorus for breaking into a Project Cadmus, but fails miserably and is saved by Dick. Dick then began to train Damian as how to properly become a new Robin, and the two developed their own unique crime-fighting style, and it was very fun because Dick is still trying to adjust. Dick never wanted to be Batman. He became Nightwing for a reason. He was his own thing. Everybody always says it's like it's the natural occurrence, and we talked about this. I mean, we've beaten this to death, but he does that out of respect for Bruce. But he wanted to be his own man.
He was way ahead of himself in realizing that we don't need to pass the mantle. We can be something else. We don't have to take over a mantle.
And that's why he's been, that's why people genuinely love him. And that's why his character stuck around and has become, a popular character in Detective Comics in his own right, is because he didn't just try to be Batman 2.0. He decided to be Dick Grayson, and he decided to be Nightwing. And what is Joker voice? He makes me laugh when people give him the what the fuck look after he's done just something. He just says, what? Yeah, no, he's not a very self-aware character at all. Which you wouldn't expect him to be. He expects things to be a certain way, and when they're not, he'll call it out. And then when people go, "Hey, Damian, you're kind of being an asshole," he's like, "What do you mean?" Like, no, this is correct. I'm correct. Yeah, you got to respect it.
Yeah, the arrogance of Ra's al Ghul's grandson. I mean, that's really what it is.
Yeah, well, and another thing too, like I got. A lot of my friends have kids. I got nieces and nephews. there's something inherently charming about like a young boy who just thinks he's hot shit and he's like big, you know, like my nephew the other day was like, oh, I'll wrestle you for this. I was like, oh, okay, let's see how that goes. You know, you know, like what are you gonna do? But this kid can actually do stuff, you know, like, so yeah, he probably, you know, it has to Negrinol, have a great baby, brother, have a great baby. But yeah, there, you know, there it has to do something to your ego when you as an adolescent get face to face with like a 30-year-old man and you're like, I'm gonna kick the shit out of you. And he's like, okay, yeah. And then you do. And okay, that's gotta do something up here. You know? There's he was also raised to be this way.
Yep.
No, you can't blame him. Can't blame him. And that they show that when he's with Dick Grayson, the first thing he does is kind of like go rogue. You know, he says he's got no respect for Dick and doesn't think he has the right to take up the Batman mantle. And you know, that's why I named the episode what I did. Is he's the heir apparent. No one else should be Batman but him because he is the biological son of Bruce Wayne. And and that is something that was not only instilled in him by him basically being a prince in the League of Assassins, that, you know, of course he would feel that way when he sees the mantle of Batman, something that he doesn't even appear to want or anything. It's just something that he should inherit because he's the son and he understands that. So he's kind of a brat in wanting the mantle of Batman.
Well, and, I mean, it's two paths for him. He sees two paths in front of him on that forked road. It's either taking over and replacing Bruce, or he's taking over for Raj.
Yeah, or in his mind, both. Which is what Raish wanted in the first place. Is, you know, he wanted Batman to be his successor. When but he doesn't understand that, like, you know, they're polar opposites. Those halves don't touch. This was supposed to be someone who could like bridge the gap, but those ideologies, you can't have a no-kill ideology and then like kill people. Like it doesn't work unless it's a live action Batman movie. Then it happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 199 GCA in the house. Nagrino. Let's see. So, yeah. Oh, that's around the time. Yeah, that's a villain that I can't wait to get into. Dick and Damian encounter a villain called Professor Pig, who is, in my eyes, one of the best new additions to Batman's Rogue Gallery. Like just a true horror show. Dick and Damian take an entire army of Dolatrons down, which is Professor Pig basically like mind wipes you and operates on your face. And yeah, he turns you kind of into like a mindless servant, like a voodoo zombie, if anything else, not like the flesh-eating ghouls that we have popularized, like the actual zombies. See. Oh, Ryu, good to see you, buddy. Oh, we are well. We had a great anniversary and we enjoyed our time off, but now it's time to get back to the cave. So they fight Professor Pig. He blames himself for not being able to save a single Dollatron, a girl named Sasha. The girl was taken by Jason Todd, and I'm pretty sure Jason Todd teams up with her. Is like she became like Red Hood's sidekick for a little bit, which was fine. Like I said,
I'm reading the screen, and it just threw me off there for a second. It says Damian present when Dick was inducted into the JLA. Now, what's funny is in my head, I went to Junior League of Assassins.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Justice League of America. Okay.
Yeah, it makes more. Which yeah, and then he eventually starts running like Young Justice, and there is a lot of Bruce in Damian. It's just that programming. I guess he would be around for Blackest Night. Yeah, he was in. There we go. We get to return to Bruce Wayne, some of the more modern stuff. Yes. So this is when Talia starts to really show her true colors, and some people argue, there's a very fine line between love and hate, because she really did love Bruce, but like her actions coming up here are like despicable. So Talia begins to clone Damian as she realizes her son has completely sided with Dick Grayson and the Bat family. Damian finally stands up for his Robin mantle, telling Talia that being Robin is the best thing that he's ever done. And Talia doesn't need to save him from something that he chooses. Talia then shows Damian a clone version of himself, who she sees as Damian's younger brother. Talia admits to Damian that even though she loves him, she's too much of a perfectionist to admire him for choosing a path that defies her so blatantly, and therefore he's no longer welcome and considered an enemy of the House of Al Ghul. Damian defiantly replies that he hopes to be a worthy one. Damian as Robin is then seen teaming up with Dick and Alfred to begin their own search for Bruce Wayne. So keep in mind that they're now cloning Damian, because let's see if we can get here. There we go. We can get to his death, because just like any good comic book character, he's got to die for like 10 seconds and have his death mean no meaning. The whole basically Dragon Ball Z, where it was like, oh no, he was dead for like 5 seconds. But we can still talk to him and just bring him back whenever we want, because we have unlimited wishes. But Damian is killed by a brutal enemy, battling a brutal enemy, the Heretic. The Heretic is an adult clone of Damian. So under Talia's, so she makes this kid. Once he starts having his own free will, she clones him, gets an adult version, and has an adult version of himself kill himself. Like, it's wild. This is crazy. And according to the story's writer, Grant Morrison, he saves the world. He does his job as Robin. He dies an absolute hero, and he does, but he gets taken out brutally by like this manipulated adult clone of himself. And and it's all done by his own mother. I mean, so like I like that. I mean, I don't like Talia's actions, or it's despicable, but it's a mind fuck kind of way to die.
Yeah,
like get killed by the adult version of yourself. And by the way, Heretic, let's click on Heretic. Heretic has I was gonna say Heretic has a sweet design. He kind of looks like a Talon from the Court of Owls. Let's see. Heretic DC. Yeah, all right. I mean, that's a. Oh, now. Let's find it. Yeah, here's the moment where Heretic stabs Damian. It's a great little still. right there. Like it's such a sweet design. It was like he's got like the bat ears, and you know, Damian's got a couple like arrows coming out of him. Like he went out like a badass. You know, he's got like it's also kind of like if you rewrote Nightfall today, this is what I would assume that Azrael's Batman would look like. Which we still haven't gotten into John Paul Valley, but there's plenty of things that we haven't gotten into yet. But yeah, it's just a cool design, and I don't know, something about that look is appealing. But yeah, so he dies, and later in Requiem. Yeah, and then they find Bruce, and Bruce is like devastated, and as he should be, like his son dies. But you know, he wants to avenge his son's death. Later in the storyline, Requiem deals with the aftermath of Damian's death and Batman's first for revenge with Talia, as well as his increasingly unbalanced mental state resulting from the loss. He is buried next to Bruce Wayne's parents, Damian's paternal grandparents, obviously. Batman is also unwilling to accept his son's death. He begins seeking the means to resurrect Damian at the cost of his relationships, friends, allies. He keeps his death secret from the public in anticipation that the resurrection would succeed. You know, Batman doesn't do very well with loss. It's the one thing that he really doesn't do well with. So, yeah, Bruce kind of went off the rails here, but you know, you can't blame him.
Well, he couldn't go through it again with dead puppies.
Yeah.
And on top of it being his actual son, I mean.
Yeah, and something that he didn't know about, you know, was stripped away, and Damian's absence has been causing conflict with his father and his acting instructor, Carrie Kelly, who's determined to figure out what happened to him. Yeah, so people are looking for Damian. It's kind of under wraps that he's dead, and Bruce is like, which is an insane thing, like almost like a Dr. Frankenstein thing, where you know they're like, hey, you know, like, where's your kid? And it was, oh, don't worry, I'm going to resurrect him. And it was like, okay, that's kind of a batshit insane thing to say. But considering, you know, it's the DC universe and characters are getting resurrected all the time, can't really blame him. So when Batman and Nightwing finally reconfront the heretic, they overpower him, and the clone suffers a brutal beating from both in retaliation to Damian's death. Batman, despite desiring to kill his son's murderer more than anything, and Nightwing making no attempts to stop his mentor, spares the villain's life, seeing the resemblance to Damian and realizing the clone is what's left of his son. However, Talia later kills the heretic for his failure to kill Batman and challenges Batman to a duel to the death. So yeah, Talia has just gone off the deep end on this. It's like she's killing her own prodigy, you know, just for failure. And let's face it, you know, Batman's not like the easiest guy to kill. Her and her dad have failed to kill Batman on every single time, but you know, like, you know, this clone, he's getting a bad rap, I think. But Talia is killed following the duel by there's Kathy Webb. I'm assuming that's Batwoman, but it's Kathy Kane. I don't know why she's Kathy Webb here. I'm sure we'll find out when we cover Batwoman. It is later revealed that Damian's body was stolen from the manor cemetery by the League of Assassins, along with Talia's plans against Batman. in addition to making the resurrection. So Talia was already on it, and he was gonna engineer more clones of Damian. But after being preoccupied with a series of cases in Gotham, Batman begins his attempt to reclaim Damian's body, despite Raish's claim that he wishes to resurrect his daughter and grandson. Which, yeah, that's another thing too. Ra's al Ghul is pretty family oriented, although those lines get kind of blurred. Especially there's instances in like the animated series where like he took over Talia's body, and you know there's a lot going on. So when Ra's says like, "Oh, this is my grandson, this is my daughter," I'm inclined to believe him, but I also know that like in a pinch he'll kind of throw both of them off.
They may be family, but they're also tools for a means for an end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they're going to be, yeah. He and being who he is, he's going to use those, and it doesn't. I mean, when the need arises, family is put to second place.
Yeah, it's like what is it? That old story about the Indian boy and the snake, where you know the snake promises, or the frog and the scorpion, same thing.
Yeah,
it was like you
frog,
knew
turtle and scorpion. Yeah.
You know, and
I've heard it as the actually is the wolf and the scorpion.
By the way, you don't trust the scorpion.
Yep.
So then we get into so there's more. Okay, half aquatic clones of Damian with Aquaman, friend of the channel, Aquaman. Batman seeks Wonder Woman's help in chasing Ra's to Themyscira, though Ra's attempts to resurrect Damian alongside Talia in what he thought was a Lazarus pit on the island. In addition, brainwash his grandson into joining him afterwards. So he doesn't just want his grandson back. He wants a little tool that he can mold into his image, and so like that's all there. There's always some ulterior motive with Ra's. They call him the Demon's Head for a reason. Instead, Ra's discovers that it's a portal to the Netherworld in the pit's former location, of which both Wonder Woman and Batman are already aware. Ra's flees with the bodies afterwards. After Batman and Frankenstein, who, yes, the Frankenstein monster is also a character in the DC universe. And was he in Creature Commandos? I think he was. But yeah, no. Usually you'll see Frankenstein like teaming up with like Justice League Dark and like Swamp Thing, stuff like that. He's more on the supernatural aspect. But yeah, sometimes Batman just has a run-in with Frankenstein's monster.
It happens.
Yeah, as one does.
Marvel could be so lucky to have their characters run into those monsters.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dracula is a character that exists both in Marvel and DC. Like it's you gotta love what is it? When they're free of copyright, public domain.
Yeah,
I believe Sherlock Holmes is also in the DC universe.
I'm just waiting for the Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse to suddenly join the DC team and fight.
Oh, yeah, in a big way. Just trucking people in his boat.
Yeah.
So yeah, after Batman and Frankenstein locate Ra's and the bodies, they are too late. Ra's successfully placed them in the Lazarus pit, leaving Batman in dread of Damian's fate. The resurrections fail, leaving Ra's to realize his arrogance for allowing the heretic to kill his grandson, and regrets allowing Talia to clone Damian. After defeating Ra's in combat, Batman reclaims Damian's body and threatens or threatens his son's maternal grandfather that if he steals his son's body again, he would kill him in retaliation. And when Batman says he's gonna kill you, you should probably listen, because that's like his one. It's like his one big rule. If you make him angry enough to do that, I would not do that, because he could easily kill a lot of people, and he chooses not to. And I'm sure that Raish would take him at his word for that, because you're screwing with this guy's family at this point, and he said they later encounter Darkseid's elite member, Glorious Godfrey, who is an interesting character from the Fourth World Saga, New Gods, all those. I don't know if we ever cover that. That's when we'll jump to like Krypton cast, because I always think of the Fourth World more intertwined with Superman than Batman. But yeah, you do run into some people from the Fourth World every now and then. Setting in motion the Robin Rises story. Later, Godfrey's reason for coming to Earth is revealed: to retrieve the Chaos Shard, a powerful crystal that once belonged to Darkseid, which Raish revealed was hidden inside the sarcophagus that he crafted for Damian. After detecting trace signatures of the shard coming from inside Damian's body, Godfrey escapes with Damian's corpse and attempts to go back to Apocalypse. Besides, despite the assistance from the Justice League, angered Batman once again vows to retrieve his son's corpse. So, like, yeah, that just keeps happening for a little bit. And I do kind of remember this, where there was like, oh, they stole Damian's corpse again. Let the kid alone. I didn't want him to get killed in the first place. But Batman enters and accesses the Justice League's watchtower. For those of you who don't know, the Justice League don't just have the Hall of Justice anymore. The watchtower is a satellite that orbits Earth, where they just kind of like watch and look for terrestrial and extraterrestrial threats, and teleporting's the thing. They can basically be anywhere within seconds.
Because, again, talking about DC, Star Trek is part of the DC universe.
That's very true.
There's your transporters.
Yeah. Though there's actually one time Superman defeated Doomsday by just throwing him into multiple teleporters.
Yep.
So he was like constantly in flux, just teleporting from one space to another. There was no ending point, and I was like, that's actually kind of a brilliant way to get rid of an unkillable character, is just to keep them in like flux of matter.
Yep.
Every now and then they still got it. I have no idea, but thank you. Oh, I'm streamer. Thank you, James Joanna. Sure, you're not a robot at all. But let's see. Yeah, so he accesses the watchtower. Oh yes, and then he gets into his exosuit, the Hellbat armor, which see if you could pull up a picture of the Hellbat armor, because the Hellbat armor is the shit. It is it's an exosuit that designed by Batman himself and the Justice League members to engage in large scale threats. He activates a boom tube and he goes to Darkseid's homeworld Apocalypse to retrieve Damian's corpse. Batman successfully retrieves his son's corpse as he and his team return to Earth via boom tube directly to the Batcave after successfully escaping the clutches of Darkseid and his parademons. After this, Batman uses the Chaos Shard on his son's corpse, which has been infused with Darkseid's Omega Sanction. The Omega Sanction is, I talked about this a little bit before. That's how Bruce Wayne got sent back in time when he got hit by the Omega beams. He didn't actually get destroyed like we thought in Final Crisis. Or was it Infinite Crisis? I think it was Final Crisis. But that's how we got Bruce. Oh, yeah, we go. Look at this beast mode armor is
yeah,
is the Hellbat. And it also there's things that they don't tell you about, like, so as long as he's in it, it's like draining his life force. So he's essentially killing himself as long as he's in that suit. But he's very formidable. Yeah, but he can't wear it too long. So I'm pretty sure there's some sort of time capacity on it. But yeah, this is what he wears if he thinks he's going to go toe to toe with Darkseid, which he can't. But I mean, he could give him a good run for his money. There's very few characters that can go toe to toe with Darkseid, and you can't be mortal to do that. I mean, unless you're Superman, but everyone's like, well, Superman died. No, he didn't. Superman went into a Kryptonian like recovery state, and they retcon that to shit. No, he didn't actually die. So he infused it with Darkseid's Omega Ascension, with Batman facing two choices of whether to resurrect Damian or his parents. He chooses his son, which is huge, because I've often said this: if Bruce could have his parents back, he wouldn't be Batman. That's just, maybe at this point he would, but so he picked his son over his parents, and we all know how that affected him. So granting Damian's true resurrection as Damian and Batman embrace, Batman collapses from exhaustion. And however, before the team can celebrate, the boom tube used to return to Earth has not closed, and Darkseid's son Kalibak arrives. During the fight with Kalibak, the team Kalibak beats the team nearly to death, and then suddenly Damian knocks out Kalibak with a powerful uppercut, discovering that due to the Chaos Shard, he has gained superhuman abilities. So he's able to confront. Kalibak's no slouch either. So he came back. He had some stints with the Teen Titans, the Super Sons, which I thought was great. I thought they had him heading Young Justice, but we can get into. Oh no, Agent 37, Dick Grayson. Never a good time. Sebrew. Yeah, that was the Hellbat suit. Yeah, no, it I bet it chafes. It chafes quite a bit. But see, on his 13th birthday, yeah, here you go. For Teen Titans Rebirth. On his 13th birthday, Damian is sent a package by his grandfather, Ra's al Ghul, which contains a dead Robin. After meeting with his mother, Talia, he discovers that it's a warning from his cousin, Mara al Ghul, who I do not remember Mara al Ghul. That's assuming. So Ra's has siblings that are alive. I know he said prodigy over the years, but I don't remember him having a long lasting sibling, or Mara is just incredibly old. So anyway, Mara has chosen him as her prey as part of the initiation ritual she must undertake to properly join the League of Assassins.
Which is kind of an odd premise. The whole point to get into the League of Assassins is you're going to kill your cousin, the grandson of Ra's al Ghul.
Who's going to inherit the League of who's supposed to inherit the League of Assassins.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Where like this stuff can get kind of convoluted, where they don't know what they want to do with Damian, or it was like, no, I want to raise him and I want to mold him to be my successor. Yeah, you can kill him though, and then that'll get you into the club. You'll get your base member League of Assassins Costco shopping card if you take out my grandson. Like whatever. Mara Al Ghul. You know, I'm curious. I'm googling it. I want to see what Mara Al Ghul looks like.
Oh, she's got a travel agency.
Yeah, so she's young. Kind of a sweet character design. Very overdone though. Looks like Cheshire. Who's also a sweet character. I'm sure we'll get to. Not a bad look. Where is she? Yeah, I mean, the White Ghost had a daughter. Raj banished son who just wanted his approval. Yeah, like I said, I know he has prodigy.
Oh yeah. All disappointment.
His mother is still alive. I did not know this. So yeah, that'll be interesting. So I don't. I'm not like skilled to death on everything Ra's al Ghul because like his stuff does get pretty murky.
Well, he's a character. He's supposed to be an individual that's been around for a very long time. Had the League of Assassins for a very long time. Yeah, he's gonna have progeny out there.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like with like Vandal Savage is because he's been around for so many hundreds of years. It was like it's easy to retcon. They do it with Wolverine all the time, where it was like, oh, there's that one time in the 50s or like in the 40s where Wolverine met up with Captain America, and I was like, oh, you only done that 100 times, but but they don't talk about it because Wolverine lost all his memories. Like, and then it was like, it's just something you can do to try and tell a more interesting story. These immortal characters, they do that with that all the time. So it was like, oh, this happened in the 1800s. I did not know that he had a brother or anything. Look, let's keep going. I want to see what else. So yeah, we won't get into it, but Damian Wayne robbed his coven of a crucial victory. Ra's al Ghul's father is also in the league, so his mother and father are both alive. Talia's mother, Melisande, had attractive ideals. I don't know what that means. Talia had an older sister. All right. But it says nothing about the brother. We'll dive into that when we're covering the character. Yeah. But yeah, that's more unbeknownst to me. But so yeah, apparently Mara Al Ghul wants a set of steak knives, and she's like, "Hey, I'm going to kill your grandson." And
platinum membership into the
yeah, I want to drive the company car. After meeting with his mother Talia Al Ghul, she discovers that there's a warning. Mara has been made a leader of a group known as the Demon's Fist, which originally was supposed to be led by Damian, but became hers after he chose to leave the league. They too have chosen targets that they must hunt down. To ascend to the league, Damian decides to collect the other Demon's Fist targets to form a new Teen Titans, which includes Starfire, who is like not a teen anymore.
Oh.
Beast Boy, who is not a teen anymore. Raven, who is not a teen anymore, and Kid Flash, and I'm assuming, that's Wallace West, not Wally. That I still don't know how they managed to justify that, as having Wallace and Wally. That was always super. It's not the Teen Titans. They're just Titans now. Starfire is on and off with Dick Grayson, and so they're both like pushing 30 at this point. And Cyborg's in the Justice League now. So after the events of Justice League No Justice, the Titans disbanded in his subsequent struggle with organized crime in Gotham and a mysterious crime lord known as the Other. Damian assembles a new team of Titans consisting of Kid Flash, the only old team member to join, Kid Flash's friend, Kid Genius Roundhouse, Red Arrow, Lobo's daughter, Crush. So they got a picture of Lobo, but not Crush. I don't remember Crush either. During his case, so this is not that interesting. What is interesting is Super Sons. Super Sons was great. In this book, Robin teams up with Superman's 10-year-old son, Jonathan Kent, who he befriended previously during a test facilitated by Batman and Superman. Together, they form the Super Sons. In the first volume, Damian and John team against Kid Amazo, a child affected by a virus which grants powers to ordinary humans. That's sweet. Amazo's been around forever. If you guys don't know who Amazo is an android that can basically mimic the powers of any superhuman that he touches, or sometimes it's just pre-programmed in there. I'm pretty sure it's Dr. Ivo who made him. Dr. Ivo is also who made Red Tornado, all those guys. He's kind of like Amazing Andy, if you guys are Fantastic Four friends, where he can just absorb power. Yeah, like Absorbing Man, only he's just Absorbing Man can, whatever he's touching, he can reflect the property of. But
real briefly,
that
new Titans team, which Red Arrow is it? Is it Harper or is it Amico?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's Amico. Let's look. Yeah, good call. Amico Queen. Yeah, which she is she's an interesting character because she's the product of Oliver Queen cheating on Black Canary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Super Sons. Yeah. So just know that if you're fighting in Amazo, it's going to have any form of Amazo. They're going to have multiple powers that are kind of be other superheroes. But it's never the same. Amazo can't run as fast as the Flash can. But, nothing really can. But, it might have super strength comparable to Superman, but it's never truly comparable. It's just he can also lift cars and throw them around. Well, there's plenty of characters that can. No one's as strong as Superman. And if there is, Superman finds a way to be stronger. That's just the rules. I don't make them. I just let you know what they are. But they go against Kid Amazo. They defeat him. Damian decides to train John, but John's desire to join the Teen Titans against Damian's wishes creates an ongoing conflict between the boys. Batman and Superman construct an underwater base for their Super Sons, which John refers to as the Fortress of Attitude. Yeah, that sounds like something like 2 10-year-old kids would come up with. Much to Damian's chagrin. Yeah, that was something that I really enjoyed. Is just the yin and the yang of and they have it with Batman and Superman as well. But One is a little bit lighthearted and carefree. Well, it's easy to be lighthearted and carefree when you can fly around, shoot lasers out of your eyes, and be bulletproof. Other as regular human beings, we have to kind of take this shit a little bit more seriously, John. So yeah, enjoy your fortress of attitude. The team returns in Adventures of the Super Sons, where they spend their summer pursuing justice against Rex Luthor, an alien child who imitates Lex Luthor and attempts to assemble his own team of child villains, modeled after the famous Earth ones. Changes made to John's character make the future of the team uncertain, despite the book's cancellation. The characters subsequently appeared as the team in other series, and yeah, that was like super fun. Harkens back to just kind of like Silver Age, a little bit more lighthearted, which, you can have these characters and have them be fun. And, just having John, just kind of being very, very similar to his father, and Damian being Damian. There was some great back and forths. If you guys haven't read that, I highly suggest. Yes, there was an animated adaptation. I think it's still on HBO Max. I would give it a watch. It's just fun. Yes, Superman is capable of bringing down the entire Bat family in just a few minutes. I think it might take him longer for Incorporated, but yeah, if you're talking about like core Bat family, none of them really have superpowers. They would just
all suit.
Mr. Mixie Splitlick is his name. And actually, I think you misspelled it.
How can you tell?
Huh?
How can you tell?
Pattern recognition. Actually, he's one of my favorite comic book characters ever. It was just what a great idea for a character. It was like, well, we have this, and I'm just kidding, Watcher. I'm sure you have it spelled correct. But
Someone's fell head against the keyboard, and that's what came up. We'll go with it.
Yeah, dude, I agree with you. I love the fifth dimensional little imp where it's just like, what can I do for my hobby? It was like, I'm just gonna screw with Superman. What's he gonna do about it? Hey, Superman, your head is a dog now. Yes, he was voiced by Gilbert Gottfried in the animated series McGurk. All right, so we got Shadow War. So basically, we can, that I just caught this real quick. So in the comics, Damian defeated Terry McGinnis, who is Batman Beyond, and there's because there was always that big upset, like, oh. I just love how Watcher just comes in and he's immediately just talking about Mr. Mixie Splitlick. Marvel has its own version, forgot his name. Of Mixie Splitlick. There's a couple characters like that. You could have I guess the what is his name? I mean any world mentor like Mad Jim Jaspers, things like that. But there is a better example. It's not the Watcher. It's another name. He started. Doesn't matter. That's all Marvel. It's all Marvel. But what I was getting at is, there was some discussion. So eventually, Terry McGinnis, we always thought was supposed to take up the Batman mantle and Batman Beyond, but until very recently, Terry McGinnis was not in the comics, and if it was all Bruce Timm-verse stuff. The Adventures of Batman. Like continuation of the much loved animated series, but it had nothing to do with the continuity of the actual comics. That was its own continuity. Hey, anytime, buddy. And then I will see you on Sunday. We're gonna have a good old time. Yep, there. I believe that is the correct spelling. Yes, Mixer Mixie Spitalick. Yeah, so they had eventually start coming ahead. So let's see. No. Forward. Oh yeah, Batman 666 is a universe where he is taken over the mantle of Batman. And he's also succeeded Ra's al Ghul as the head of the League of Assassins for Batman Beyond adjacent. Yeah, so they have it in an adjacent reality. It is stated that that universe is Bruce to be the best fighter in the world, with Bruce stating that Damian had passed him even at his peak. Damian easily defeated Terry McGinnis, even though the disparity between the technologies and equipment. Yeah, because I don't know if you've seen Batman 66. Batman 66 is very kind of like low tech in comparison to Terry McGinnis, who is like flying around. His suit is very adaptive, a bunch of built-in gadgets. It was actually a suit that Bruce designed for himself so he could continue fighting crime in his old age. It just put too much of a strain on his heart. But also Damian and Terry McGinnis kind of have a similar thing where they are actually the biological prodigy of Bruce Wayne, but this time it was he did it by some tomfoolery by Amanda Waller, who was just like gave Terry McGinnis's father like, okay, this is gonna put Bruce Wayne's seed in your storage facility, so next time you're with your wife, it's going to be Bruce's kid, not yours. I don't know how that works. But
transporters.
Yep, transporters. But that's certainly what happened. Does he have? I know he had powers for a second. That didn't really like transform his background and appearance.
Let's see. Under powers and abilities, let's see, master martial artist, master assassin, strength, peak human hearing, stealth, acrobatic, genius level intelligence, and drawing.
All right.
What Batwiki says.
100%. Friend of the channels.
Weakness. Damian possesses all the weaknesses of a normal human male, though he has been trained to resist them for longer than most human males.
Oh, I've been saying progeny. I have trouble saying that word. It's also like jewelry. I'm just not great at it. Yeah, I think we nailed it.
Yeah. Equipment, katana swords, batarangs, grappling hooks, brass knuckles with spikes, domino mask with assorted lenses, and various situations. Transportation, jacked Batmobile, not just the Batmobile, jacked Batmobile.
I think that's the one that could fly. Let's see. And Damian is a white American, English, Scottish, French, and Ashkenazi Jewish. And it also feels like he just kind of like took a 23andMe, and it was like, because I feel like everybody gets like Ashkenazi Jew, because like It was like, oh, he's 1% Ashkenazi Jew. Like my buddy's mom took that the other day, and it was like, she what did she find out she was? It was something like, she thought she was like 100% Italian. It was like, nobody's 100% anything. Okay, they're gonna break down your DNA. You're gonna show traits of certain.
They couldn't give him a little bit of, Native American heritage in there too. No, all Middle Eastern and white, which makes sense.
He doesn't need the scholarship.
Yeah, that's true. But the British and the Jewish side, I would say, was probably more from the obvious. It kind of breaks it down there. That's the Batman side, and then the Rosh Al Ghul is your Chinese Arab.
Yeah, and but it's not even. Oh, there you go. And he kind of looks like it. Like he kind of looks like a mutt. Like he has.
Oh yeah.
You can kind of see a little bit of everything. The English and French definitely makes sense for the Wayne. The Scottish stuff they started throwing in, I'm pretty sure back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s is when Tommy's going to be on the news with us tomorrow. I'm looking forward to having him on. And it should be a good time. We've had plenty of stupid news since I've been gone. So I think we got it. All in all, I like this character. Oh, I guess he showed up in Brave and the Bold. I'll have to rewatch that episode. But an infant, Damian Wayne makes a non-speaking cameo in Young Justice. Damian Wayne appears in Harley Quinn, which was a terrible show. But I like this character. I know a lot of you people hate him. I think he's just misunderstood. And he's one of the newer characters that actually has potential to grow. And, I'm hoping he ends up being more like Dick Grayson than he does Jason Todd. But other than that, Emerald, what you got going on for the rest of the week?
In about an hour, I'll be over on Theo Snodgrass's channel producing his show, Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass. That's at 11 PST. And then Tuesday at 6 p.m. over on my channel, I have Nerds covering the news. Wednesday at 7 over on Devil Made Me Do His channel, we have Make Me a Sandwich. And then back Friday for Iron's channel for Weekly Rogues Gallery. Then I'm over to Rumble only with Gina and Sean, which is Third Railify, doing their show, which leads into my Friday show at 9:30 PST, which is insert title here.
Yes, one of the best shows on the internet. Insert title here. Unlimited sponsors, and just got that drip game. Make Me a Sandwich is a fun one. I've been on that show twice now, and that is also that's a hell of a lot of fun. I myself, I will be back tomorrow. In other news, we have a couple of guests, and a revolving door of repeat experts and a couple of new ones. So I'm not sure what the news stories are going to be yet, but it'll be something insane, I'm sure. Other than that, you can find me every Tuesday on Words of Paradise. We have a show called Tinfoil Haters. And then every Thursday, I am on Roman of the Empire, although I will not be on this Thursday because I will be going to see the new Superman movie. So I might be in time. I might be in time to hop in and tell you guys my thoughts. I'll definitely have a video about it afterwards because I'm going to talk about Superman. But otherwise, guys, you can get your Batman education anywhere, but you choose to get it here. Please like the channel, share it with your friends, show it to your mother. Maybe she wants to learn about Batman. Who knows? Or maybe she just likes my deep voice. It's not for me to say. I appreciate you guys. We will see you next week. And I think next week we are covering Probably auxiliary Robins and like the Bat family. And then we'll probably return with Barbara Gordon. And then I think we're going to start getting into villain breakdowns. And we'll be, I know there's a lot of people who've been wanting to jump on and talk about their favorite villains. I haven't decided what the first villain's going to be, but I mean, it's going to be a big one. Might even be Raish. Raish might be a good place to start.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we'll make the Joker. The Joker will probably be multiple episodes. And yes, I know this guy wants to stop by when we're talking about Barbara Gordon.
Yeah. I mean, Joker, no, we can get him done in an episode. He's not that important.
Yeah, right. And there's so little variations of him, you know, like
yeah.
We might honestly have to take it gold, silver, bronze, modern.
Yeah.
And then like they're accompanying like, oh, look, just in the nick of time. Yes, and Birds Aren't Real. I am a card-carrying member of Birds Aren't Real. Because I also like to make signs and go to things. But guys, thank you so much. We will see you next week, bright and early-ish, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. Love y'all. See you later.
Come on.
Yes, Batman, clad in the somber costume which has struck terror to the heart of many a swaggering denizen of the underworld.
Bob? Done.
Holy CinemaScope! Holy miscast Batman! Holy movie moguls! Holy cliffhangers Batman! Holy suborbit Batman is raining down there! Big history! Holy catastrophes Batman! Holy bullseye Batman! Holy stereo! Listen to this! Holy armadillos! Holy Krypton! Holy trampoline! Holy fork in the road! Holy Titanic Batman! Holy Houdini! Holy funny bone of Joker! Holy chutzpah! Holy precision! Come on, boys!
Tomorrow, same that time, same that channel.
The monster who took you from me will soon learn that revenge is a dish best served cold.